أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. Hello students, this is the first lecture on basic science for the third term. I am Mansoor Abdul Latif, your basic science teacher. The topic for the first term is light energy. Light is a luminous form of energy that can make things visible to the eye. It is a form of electromagnetic radiation emitted by hot objects like the sun, bulb, etc. What this means is that it is due to the presence of light energy that objects can be viewed in the universe. The human eye works or is able to observe objects because of the presence of the light energy, because it is the light being reflected by the object that enters the eye before the eye can perceive the presence of the object. The light is produced by objects which are referred to as luminous objects. Production of light. Luminous objects are objects that can produce light. Examples of luminous objects are sun, bulb, lasers, etc. Anything that can produce light on its own is referred to as a luminous object. Non-luminous objects are objects that cannot produce light. Examples are moon, earth, stone, etc. Anything that cannot produce light is referred to as non-luminous object. Moon is not a luminous object. However, it is highly reflective. The moonlight that we see during the night is as a result of the reflection of light rays by the moon. Light coming from the sun reaches the moon, and this is reflected by the moon onto the earth. Places on the surface of the earth that receive the reflected rays of light, the reflected sun rays from the moon, they are going to have the moonlight. But moon itself is not a luminous object. It only reflects the light coming from the sun onto the earth. A luminous object, how does it produce light? It is when the atoms inside the luminous object are heated up. This heat results in the production of light in form of photons. That is, when the atoms are heated, they start to agitate, they vibrate, their electrons proceed from lower level to higher levels. On getting to the higher level, there is emission of radiations in form of light. This light that is emitted is usually measured in photons. A photon is a packet of certain amount of light energy. Transmission of light, that is, how light moves from the source to the other areas. Light travels in form of waves. A wave is a kind of disturbance that transfers energy from one point to another through a medium. So the wave transfers light energy from the light source. Light is a form of electromagnetic wave which does not require a material medium for its propagation. All electromagnetic waves do not require anything to carry them about. That is, they can move by themselves from their source to where they are needed. They move from one place to another on their own. So light can pass through a vacuum, that is, an empty space. This is the reason why light from the sun can reach the earth. After the atmosphere, there is space, there is empty space. If you are in space and you speak, your sound will not be heard by people around, because sound cannot move in space. Sound requires a material medium for its propagation, but in the case of light, light can move through space. That is why light from the sun passes through the empty space, and gets to the Earth's surface. Transparent and opaque objects. Transparent objects are objects that can allow light to pass through them so that one can see through them. Examples are glass, nylon, water, etc. Anything that when you place it in front of your eyes, you can see whatever is behind that object is a transparent material. For instance, take a piece of glass in front of you. You can see through the glass, then the glass is a transparent material. Or nylon. Anything that you can see through them is a transparent material. So you can see through them because light can pass through them. So they are transparent. Opaque objects are objects that do not allow light to pass through them, so that one cannot see through them. So anything that will block your view when you are looking, maybe you are in a cinema, you are watching, and something obstructs your view, and you cannot see through that thing, then that object is opaque. Human body is an example of opaque materials, or anything such as wood, metal plates, paper, block, fence, buildings, all those things that will block your view, that will not allow you to see whatever is behind them, is referred to as opaque material. So opaque materials do not allow light to pass through them. Ray and beam of light. A ray of light is a line along the direction of light wave. We said that light moves in form of wave. So a thin line that can be drawn along the direction of the light wave is referred to as a ray of light. And these rays are very straight. They are very straight because light travels on straight lines. That is why an opaque object is able to block the passage of the light. The light will not be able to bend in order to pass, to maneuver its way, to move away. So light travels on a straight line, and when the passage is obstructed, it stops there. So light rays make it easy to draw closer diagrams to show the motion of light. That is, we will be able to draw diagrams to show how light moves using lines, and we will show the direction of the motion using arrows on such lines. A beam of light consists of a large number of rays traveling together. There are three types of beam. A beam of light, when you have a large number of rays traveling together, then we'll be able to see the light properly. So when you have many rays of light moving together, it forms a beam of light. So there are three types of beam. They include parallel beam. Parallel beam consists of a large number of rays traveling parallel to each other. So when they are parallel to each other, we refer to such a beam as parallel beam. That is, the rays of light, they can never meet, either from the beginning or at the end. So they travel along the same path and they will never meet. Just like parallel lines. Parallel lines are lines that can never meet. So parallel beam of light consists of rays of light that are traveling parallel to each other. Examples of parallel beam are rays of light entering through an open window, rays coming out of a searchlight. The searchlight, like our torchlight, very strong ones. have parallel beam of light. That is why they can travel far distance. So sun rays that enters through the window, because it is coming from far distance and they never meet before reaching the earth, they are parallel rays. They are parallel rays. So it is a parallel beam of light. We have divergent beam. Divergent means that they diverge from a particular source. A divergent beam consists of rays of light starting from a point. They are starting from the same point and traveling in various directions. They emerge from a particular point together, but they scatter, they move in different directions. Examples include rays coming out from a burning candle or a bulb. When we place a burning candle on the table, the rays of light from that candle, they move away from the candle and they scatter in different directions. Then we refer to such a beam as divergent beam. Also a bulb placed at the center of a room, light coming from the bulb spread all over the room, but they are coming from just a point, the same source. So such beam is a divergent beam. The third one is convergent beam. To converge means to come together at a particular point. So a convergent beam consists of rays of light coming from different directions which meet at a point. They are coming from different directions, they now come together to meet at a particular point. We refer to such a beam as convergent beam because the rays of light converge together. Examples include rays received by a camera. A camera receives rays of light from the daylight and all the rays are focused at a particular point. So they come together, they converge. Also, rays of light received by the eyes. When rays of light enters the eyes, the lens of the eye together with the other parts of the eye like cornea, the aqueous humor or vitreous humor, they make the rays of light to bend. That is, they make it to bend, to refract and focus it at a particular point on the retina. So when all the rays come together, then we refer to such a beam as convergent beam. You can see the diagrams of the parallel rays. See that they are moving, they are traveling along the same path and they never meet. And you can see convergent beam, all of them coming from different points and meeting at a particular point. Also the divergent beam, you have rays of light moving from a particular point and they move in different directions. Shadows and eclipse. The formation of shadow and eclipse are due to the fact that light travels on straight line. Now, I said earlier that because light travels on a straight line, it can be obstructed by an opaque object. It can pass through a transparent object, but an opaque object will obstruct the motion of the light, thereby blocking it from continuing its journey. So when we have a beam of light, whether parallel or divergent, and we have an opaque object on the way, the object will block certain parts of the beam of light. So the portion blocked by the object casts a shadow on a screen, so like a wall. So a shadow is formed when an object is placed on the path of rays of light. The shadow of the object is cast on a screen, such as a wall. So if you take a torch, now light a torch, place an object like a cardboard paper on its way Now observe what you are going to find on the wall, or you make something as a screen. You see that you are going to have the shadow of that object, which is usually bigger than the object because the object is close to the light source. As you can see in this diagram, a point source of light is such a small light source that it can be considered a point. So all light rays depart from that point. So it is a small source of divergent beam. So you see the object, a round object on the path, blocking most of the rays in the beam. So the portion blocked by the object forms shadow on the screen. So the area of complete shadow is referred to as umbra, as you can see in the diagram. So the shadow is cast, but the other part that has not been blocked by the object, you are going to see the light on the screen. Eclipse. We have eclipse of the sun and we have eclipse of the moon. Eclipse of the sun is formed when the moon comes in between the sun and the earth. You know that the earth moves around the sun. That is what we call revolution. During the course of revolution, also the moon also moves around the earth. So as the earth is moving around the sun, the moon is also moving around the earth. There will be a particular time, a particular point when the three of them will be on a straight line and the moon comes in between the sun and the earth. We said that out of the three of them, the only luminous object is the sun. The sun produces light and this light will be blocked by the moon. It may be blocked by a part of the moon or blocked completely by the moon. So area under the earth which has been blocked by the moon will experience darkness during the day. So light rays coming from the sun are blocked by the moon such that the shadow of the moon is cast on the earth, making some parts of the earth to be in darkness. Then we also have eclipse of the moon. This occurs when the earth comes in between the sun and the moon, thereby blocking light rays from the sun from reaching the moon. The moon is therefore covered by the shadow of the earth. So the formation of eclipse is due to the blockage, that is due to the formation of shadows. So the shadow of the moon is formed on a certain point, certain places on the earth, and that is eclipse of the sun. The shadow of the moon is formed. So it may be partial, as I have said earlier, when only a portion of the moon blocks light rays from the sun from reaching the earth. You can see different levels or the different shapes that will be formed. The middle diagram is having places under that circle they are having complete eclipse, that is total darkness, because the whole moon is blocking the light rays from reaching the earth. Uses of light. Light is used by green plants to manufacture food. You all know about photosynthesis. That is the process by which green plants manufacture their food, the carbohydrates. So it is the major source of energy for for the whole universe, and it starts from photosynthesis. It is this energy that is produced by the plants, stored in them, that is passed to the animals, from the consumers to from the primary consumers to secondary consumers to tertiary consumers, and it goes on like that. And part of this energy are converted to other forms of energy. When the green plants or animals die and they decay, they form petroleum, they form different kind of fuel that are also used to generate energy. Number 2, it enables the eyes to see objects clearly. If you try to see objects during the night without putting on light, you will find it difficult to see most of the objects. If there is no light coming from such objects to enter the eye will not be able to see objects. That's why it is clearer. We see things clearer during the daylight than during the night. It is the reflected light rays from the object. Light is incidental on the object and it is reflected to enter the eyes, and that makes the eyes to see the object, because the image of the object will be formed on the retina and it will be transmitted to the brain for interpretation. Number 3, the colors of various objects are as a result of absorption and reflection of certain portion of the light. When the white light that comes from the sun, is incidented on an object, certain part of the light is absorbed and some part of it is reflected. It is those parts that is reflected that constitute the color of the object that we perceive. For example, a white object reflects all the light, and that's why we see white. But because a white light contains 7 colors, the color of rainbow: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. So if only red is reflected, the object will appear red. If all the light is absorbed, the object will appear dark. So it is a portion that is reflected that forms the color of the object that we perceive. This is where we are going to stop for today. We shall continue under light energy next week, inshallah. But before I go, I'm leaving with this assignment. Question 1. Differentiate between luminous objects and non-luminous objects. Question 2. Describe the 3 types of beam and give their examples. Number 3. What do you understand by the term eclipse of the sun? Question 4. State the uses of light energy. So with this, we've come to the end of the lesson. Inshallah, we shall continue from there next week. Subhanaka Rabbi hamdik, la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.